Good morning. Welcome to Sugar Melts. It is the middle of July. Oh my gosh, this year is more than half over. I thought I was going to be doing a video on Christmas in July, but here we are. I'm not even close to Christmas. But let me show you what I've been working on. You may remember during Stampin' Up's celebration last year, they had this wonderful Berry Blessings stamp set and Berry Delightful Designer Series paper. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. All the strawberries. This is the stamp set. I just love this paper so much. I wish I had so much more of it, but I don't. Anyway, but I've been working on different projects. So I made with a couple of the sheets some little gift bags here. So there was only one sheet with the blueberries, and so there's this little gift bag that I made. There's another video on how to make these. And then I made with the one sheet of the purple. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Look at those beautiful I think those are blackberries. And then I used a lot of the paper and made these little cards. It's the raspberries on the green plaid with the strawberries on the green plaid. And then I just tied some white ribbon around it and it folds up like this. Did it both directions, sometimes with the strawberries on front, sometimes with the raspberries. I will probably make these into Easter cards and Mother's Day cards next year. I just wanted to get the paper on there, and this is using Garden Green. And then I found myself with a whole bunch of scrap paper. What do I do with all these little pieces and parts? So that's what we're going to do today. I've been working on some cards that, oh, sorry, I kicked the camera there. Oh, I did it again. It was called Sunburst. Some people call it Starburst, but I think it looks like a sunburst. Basically, you've got this paper. See how that goes out? Oh my gosh, so pretty. I've done several different varieties of this. So here's kind of a green focus with that paper. And of course, any DSP, whatever scraps you have, mix and match, flip them over. This is going to be a super easy, great card. I love this. And there's a couple different ways of doing it that I'm going to show you. So the card we're going to make today is going to look like this one. And the way these are different, so these two cards, we're going to be making this one today. For your pieces of paper, this is what you need. You need about 4 or 5 of these. And this one is 1.5 inches. Now here I did 2 inches. One of them was 1 1/4. It's all good. I mean, whatever kind of length you have there or width you have. Anywhere from 2 inches down to 1 1/4, and you can make this work. You want at least 4 inches. This is where I only had 4 inches, and you see I kind of the tips cut off, so I had to put a little band at the bottom. But if you have as much as 6 inches, it will work much better for that full size card for going across. This is what we're going to do. I'll show you in a minute. So if you have 4 inches by 1.5, 6 inches by 1 1/4, you can make this card work. Put your scraps together and don't throw anything away. Even if you don't think you have enough of one pattern to make a card, this is a great opportunity to kind of mix and match, combine, flip them over, and bring this all together. So we'll talk about how easy this card is. Oh my gosh, it's so easy. It's crazy easy. So this is kind of what we're going to be looking at today. Okay, and I'll show you. You'll see how it all comes together. So what I've got over here, let's see. You're going to take these strips of paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut them corner to corner. So here we go. So you can see here, I've cut these corner to corner. See how that is? Corner to corner. So what I'll do, I took this piece of paper, cut it corner to corner, either way, doesn't matter, whichever one and then you're going to flip one of them over. And so that is how you're getting this pattern. Oh my gosh, so easy. so easy. So when we do this, oh, you there? Oh, my camera just jumped. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, sorry about that jump. I didn't even touch it and it jumped. Sorry about that. So we're going to take those strips of paper, cut them in half. You'll have your stash here. You probably want, let's see, how many did I use on here? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 pieces, and again, they don't have to match, and you're going to cut them in half, and that will be enough for even the largest of the cards. when you put this on, you can do a couple different things. What we're gonna do for this first card here, so I've got my 8.5 by 11, score in the middle, or, you know, cut in half, score in the middle. So there we go. And then you can either use matching paper that you're gonna, this will be your mat. This is what you're gonna glue everything onto. You can either use a coordinating piece of paper, or you can use white. So on this paper, I did use white as the mat. And if you're looking, you can kind of see it. It's not a big deal either way, because it's going to be completely covered. But just to make sure that nothing shows through, I'm gonna go ahead and use the poppy paper. This is Poppy Parade, by the way. Oh my gosh. Love Poppy Parade. So pretty. I have one of these silicone sheets that nothing sticks to. So it's great. This is, if you have one of those, this is the time to break it out, because this gets gluey. This gets very, very gluey. Oh my gosh. So I've done it, since I've done a few of these, I've learned a few tricks and tips on how to make this easy. What we're going to do is we're going to put glue all over this and glue everything down. You may notice on this other card that I did, there's a green space between each one of this. In this situation, I didn't use, I used a mat, I used a green mat, but I didn't glue them all down. I separated them and left kind of that pinstripe between them. You can do that too. So that's another option. It'll make more sense as we go through, but I think this is so much easier. So the first thing I think that helps with this is you want to find that middle, exact middle, because that's where we're going to start. So this is, let's see here, let me get exactly, a little over 13. So let's see if it's easier to do with inches. Might be easier to do with inches here. So this is going to be 5 1/4. So that's 2 1/2 plus 1/8, okay? So let's get that right up to the top here. 2 1/4, there's the middle. Okay, that's gonna be covered up by paper, so don't worry about that little pencil mark. Okay, watch how fast this comes together. You're just gonna laugh. This is so easy. I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of glue. You don't want it too thick, you know how I feel about that. And then I don't want any lumps, I don't want anything kind of oozing. I don't want any bumps, but I do want to make sure that I don't have to go back and re-glue anything. Don't like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so with this also, most paper has some kind of directionality to it, so you want to make sure you're looking at the right, that you've got it going upwards. Now, since this is the raspberry, see how the leaves are? This is the right direction. So this card is actually going to be portrait when we're done, which I haven't done up till now. I also like to start to make sure that widest part, because it's going to go off, but let's use as much of the paper as we can. So get that wide part right up at the top. Get that kind of straight. Is that kind of straight? That's kind of straight. And then take the alternate one. And it doesn't really matter which one you use, but you'll see directionally how they cut to make sure that they kind of fit appropriately. So we probably could align these up to begin with, but you know, where's the fun in that? So this one directionally will go like that. And then I'm gonna push this right up to that edge so you don't see any poppy paper coming through. No cardstock showing through. There we go. And then we'll do another green one over here. So that again, directionally, because of the angle, I know I wanna put this one over here. And we're just going to alternate. Now, I could absolutely alternate patterns. Oops, don't want any cardstock showing. Watch those corners. Yikes. There we go. Perfect. And then this one. Bring it down. Bring it down. Get as much of that paper on there. Great. And then, so you can see looking down which direction the raspberries are going to make sure they're all, oops, don't want that corner to show, so I'm going to pull it up a little bit. There we go. And then I need another green one over here. Let's see here. Looks like it'll be this one. Okay. And then I need one more raspberry in this corner. And then this last one just fills in down over here. Oh my gosh, how amazing is that? And then all you have to do then is just trim off. Kind of rub that down, make sure it's all nice and flat. And then we're just gonna trim off all this excess. Super, super easy. Oh my gosh. And so they call this the Sunburst. I've also heard it called Starburst. So cute. I just love how it uses such pretty paper, and I'm, you know, sad that I'm now pretty much out of this paper, but I just love how it's showcased in these cards that are so universal. It's just such a universal pattern and color profile that can be used for so many seasons or reasons. Let's go back in here and trim that a little bit closer. Perfect. Okay, so I've got all of that. Oh, look how fast that came together, and no stamping. And what a great use of just the extra, get my trash can here, just the scraps that are left over after you've been using all your paper. And so when I glue it down, you can see here, now I've got all my raspberries right here. I'm gonna be able to finish this up with my sentiment. It's gonna be great. So let's talk about the sentiment and everything else for the inside. I've got this one piece of paper still. I don't think I'll use that on the back of this, but I do want to do a sentiment. This card piece will be my inside for my message. And then we've got to do something on the outside here. Let's look at the stamps that we've got. So in here, of course, you can pull from any stamps. I've got this one called Wishing You the Very Best. Kind of like that. Or maybe just a simple happy birthday with some poppy behind it. Or actually, would this be better? Because there's a lot of green on there. Kind of thinking this might look better. Ooh, oh yeah, that's gonna look better. That's okay. See, we did it on the poppy paper, but it doesn't show through because it completely covers that. Okay, let me score this real fast. Grab my tool. Over my score pad here, 8.5. Gonna score at 4 1/4. And we're back. And my bone folder. Perfect. So that's going to be right there, and we can put a sentiment then right in here. So let's see what I've got. I've got a happy birthday here, and the color profile for this paper is the Poppy Parade, the Garden Green, and Granny Apple. So let's see here. I'm kind of thinking maybe the Granny Apple, and then what do I have to go behind it? I've got this little piece that's going to kind of blend in a little too much. Well, you know, sometimes I go into a project and I don't have all the details worked out. That's okay. So I do love this oval, double oval punch that came out recently. So let's use that. Oh, that's fun. Like that a lot. So I got a happy birthday sentiment here that I know fits in the smaller of the ovals. So let's do a Granny Apple. I've done a lot with the dark green. Let's see if I like this light green any better. Oh, that looks good. Yeah. Okay. So then I'm going to go into the second circle down here. Make sure all my letters are in place. Save that for another project. Oh my gosh, this just flies, doesn't it? Okay, so let me just kind of put a little bit of glue on the back of this one. Now I was just using this. I don't know how it got plugged up already. Thanks. Shouldn't be. But of course, once you turn the camera on, things happen. That's okay. Let's see what else we can do for glue. This work? Boom, done. And then I've got some dimensionals over here. Let's use up some of these. Has this one been cut? This one has not been cut. So I love to just trim up these edges here. I know most of you probably already do that too. Because it's under the card, nobody sees that it's not the perfect square. Nobody cares. So there we go. So let's do that one there. And then we'll do that one down there. There. So it all comes together. This is a really easy project, and it's such a great way to make sure you're not losing out on opportunities to use some of your papers just because you don't have that full sheet, or sometimes the 12 by 12, just once you've chopped it up, you end up with these little pieces and parts, and well, now what do I do with it? Not enough for a full project. I think this is just, once you're inside that suite of papers, this really comes together. Okay, so that's the way it opens. Always double check, see? Or they say measure twice, cut once. So, and then we can just do, but if I wanted to do some ribbon on this, do I want to do some ribbon? Yeah. Let's see, we can go ahead and just, maybe I want to do a little bit of ribbon now. Okay, I know, you're like, what are you doing? You've already got tape down. Well, it's never too late. Never too late. There we go. And then to run some ribbon right through there. There we go. We'll see how this comes together. I never know where it's gonna end up. I just start kind of playing with this. So then we'll just wrap this around. I like to do odd numbers. You've probably all heard that. There's something, the brain likes odd numbers, they say. I'm not sure if my brain really recognizes that or not, but that's okay. So then I'll push that down into there. Cut that off. A little lower than I wanted, but that's okay. There we go. And then this is going to go kind of right in there. That'll be good. That'll kind of cover it. That'll be good. I could put a dimensional on this one also. What do I have here? So I've got that one, and I've got that one, and maybe one more over here. What do you think? Okay. Taking the backs off, and we'll just put this down. Oops, look at me measuring twice, almost put it down double. There we go. So still, I think I want that up just a little bit higher. And then I'm gonna take this extra ribbon here and make a bow on this card. So I'll take this, and I'm just gonna run this underneath where that is, and we'll put the bow over here. How about that? It's kind of off. What do they say, a third? You know, do it in threes. So I usually don't put them in the middle. I put it a third over. I don't know why, but that's what they say. Tie it down. Okay, and then I've got my bow. This little bow, oh my gosh, super cute. And then let's do a little bit of trimming. I don't like my tails to usually be larger than the bow, so we'll just trim that. Careful, don't trim the bow. Don't trim the bow. So there you go. And then we've got the inside to do, and I had that right here a second ago. Oh, it fell. Did this fall on the floor? Oh. Well, I had the paper, and then I got a little carried away here making this card, and I don't know what I did with it. That's okay. I think I've got another one over here. Okay, so I've got this one. And for the inside, I want to keep it kind of simple. I like the sort of country feel of this card. Get those scraps out of there. And let's see what I've got for the inside. I did pull a couple of my favorite stamp sets. And do you remember this? You haven't seen this one for a while. Called Petal Palette. Oh, it has this wonderful polka dot thing going on. Let's use that one. Let me get a big stamp. Need a big stamp for this one. Got this stamp. And then, let's see here. I need a piece of paper. Scratch paper. So that I don't get everything. Okay. Now for these big stamps like this, I like to flip my stamp head over. And what I find is that I don't get near as much ink on the edges, if that makes sense. There we go. So that I'm using the Granny Apple. Let me go ahead and turn this. And we'll do just a little bit off the edge. Super cute. And then I'll do one more so that the whole card is covered. I probably could have stamped off and been a little happier with that result, but that's okay. Get it right there at the edge. Oh my gosh, okay, oops. And I got some ink at the bottom. I do that, I get inky fingers. I get inky fingers. So then we'll just do one more down here and let's see if that kind of covers it up. Perfect, can't even see it. Okay. Close this. And then I'm watching my fingers now. I don't know which finger has the ink on it. Oh dear. And then, oops, gotta be careful with this glue. It just kind of sticks on itself. Look at that. Yikes. It's okay. This happens. That will not be seen. We're just gonna put a little more tape on here. Boy, it stuck super fast. Oof. Let's turn the paper like this. That will not be seen. Let me trim that off with, there we go. Sometimes this is why I like to use the liquid glue, because it gives me so much more time to put that down. Perfect. Well, sort of perfect. Kind of perfect. Okay. Perfect for today. And then I can do actually another card. Let me show you what it looks like in red. Okay. Ooh, inky fingers. Oh, I kicked the camera. My bad. So then I have another pattern. So we've got this raspberry, and see how that came out portrait, okay? Then we've also got the strawberry paper that was in that packet. Now this has a different directionality because of the angle. You can see where the strawberries go up and down. So I'll show you what this one looks like, and it looks so pretty on this Poppy Parade. So for this one, it's directionality. I want to make this one will actually look landscaped, okay? So got my silicone mat out. This will be the matting for it. And then I do need to deal with this clogged glue container real fast. I'm gonna grab a paper clip to kind of clean this out super fast. Be right back. Okay, this is how I clean, because I end up with this thing getting, I don't know what I do wrong, but I get glue in here and it just gets all trapped. I just stick a cheap little paper clip in there and it cleans it out nice and easy. Super fast, inexpensive. I don't have to worry about one more tool that's small that I may lose. I have a specific device for it, but oh my gosh, it's just this tiny little thing. So just using a paper clip seems to work pretty well. So let's go 0 to 5 1/4. So 2 1/2, we go up to 2 1/8. And there is our middle. Take our glue. Hopefully it comes out this time. And now we're back in business. We got glue again. Okay. Just get that glue all over. Again, this is pretty fast, so you don't need a lot of glue. You don't need to worry if it spills over. Just want to make sure it stays wet. When we pick our pieces, if you want to line these up first before you lay them down, that'll give you a better sense. See here how the strawberries come down, but with the point up here, I need to flip that over and use the other side. The wide part has the strawberries, so we'll go like that. Here's another one that works. This one's kind of upside down, so we'll flip it like that. And this way I know which ones to grab. And then this one also, the pointy part doesn't have any strawberries. They'd be upside down this way, so I know that one's going to go that direction. And same thing with this one. The strawberries would be upside down, so we'll go like that. And oh, that's a super cute one. I've got an extra one here. We'll see which one I end up using. So take your strawberries or whatever paper you've got, put it right on that middle, get it straight. You want to have that wide part at the top, so you're taking advantage of all that real estate on this paper. Put your next one next to it. Make sure your corners, all your cardstock that shows through is all covered. Really get them right together. And then here's another one. And it can be a little tricky depending on the paper, because if it all matches, you know, you may not see it real clearly. If you end up gluing it down and oops, you can see cardstock that you didn't want to see, no worries. You can just put your sentiment there, put an embellishment. Everything can be fixed. You saw me on my last card. Oh my gosh, I ripped the paper. I had my inky fingers all over it. We can fix everything. No worries. Let me bring this one over a little bit more. Just a little bit more, because it's that poppy on poppy, so it isn't always as obvious where the edge is, and you don't want anything to show through, unless of course you're doing like that other card I showed you with where you have a deliberate sort of pinstripe in between, and that works fine. So here we've got this one right there that's lined up, and here will be our last one. There we go. So all of that's covered. How fast is this? Oh my gosh, seriously. Everything's covered. Just get it nice and flat. And if you've got my favorite rolling tool here, this thing. This is a great occasion to kind of push out any little air bubbles, make it smooth. And it's okay if it runs out any extra glue, because we're going to be cutting that down anyway. So just start by kind of whacking off the big pieces if you like, and then we'll get into it a little bit closer. There we go, right along your matting. I just think this is just makes for such a colorful, such a colorful card. So many, the pattern, this Sunburst pattern alone is so pretty. And then all the ways you can use your paper, use your stamps to embellish this. Great way to, if you don't have a designer series paper or a pattern paper that you like, this great way to use your stamps and inks and make one you like. Make a couple, cut them down like this, and you've got your project. There you go. So then we come over to, so we're pretty much done with that. So here's our poppy. So as you can see, because of the direction of the strawberries, that's going to go on here, landscape. And then for a sentiment, let's see. Oh gosh, so much pretty paper. Oh. This could go as a really nice matting on the background with using, I love this punch. Just makes everything fit. Got this. Could do that. Alternatively, another way we could do this. Let's see here. I've got this piece of paper, and I have a stamp that actually comes in the Berry Blessings stamp set. It says, wishing you the very best. So we could use that one also. Okay. Wishing you the very best. And I'm going to use, of course, Poppy Parade ink color. I'm going to do this right in the middle because I'm going to show you what can happen when sometimes you want to use a sentiment on the outside of the card, but you may not have a punch that's quite large enough. What else can you do to make it work? If you have, for example, a tag punch, you can use, like this one, for example, has 3 different widths. And so let's try and see if we can make this thing work. I'm going to trim this down. This smallest one is only 1 inch. So I'm going to trim this paper down here. Let me step over to the side where my paper cutter is. And let's trim this paper down. So it's currently almost 3 inches. So let's cut this down. May take a couple for me to get this all straight. I'm just trimming this paper down, just cutting off sections here. Let's go like that. Just cutting the paper down a little by little so that I get that, I want that sentiment as much in the middle as I can. So I'm not cutting too aggressively. I'm just going to keep trimming and trimming here. Can you hear me cutting? Just back and forth. Okay, so I'm almost at 1 inch. Now I'm going to do my last cut. I just kind of trim back and forth. Okay, so I just kind of cut from the top, cut from the bottom until I got this right in the middle. And now, so there it fits. So let's trim that down, and then I'll trim this down, and then I'll do it again. I'll just keep, oops, let me cut some more of this off. Get this a little closer, and you'll see what I'm doing here. Oops, dropped it. Okay. Okay, that looks better. That's a little closer. What do you think? I think I could do one more. What do you think? A little smaller? Just a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller. Oh, I'm taking a chance. Hope I don't run out of paper in here. Yikes. Okay. Oh, that's gonna work out really cute. Look at this. You see what I'm doing here? There we go. So that's gonna be our sentiment right there in the middle. How super cute is that? Okay, so this time, how about I put the ribbon on first? What do you think? Like the last one. So you can even use, you know, an alternate, even the same paper. If you had a stretch, you could put this down here. Ooh, how cute is that? Do you like that? Just that little band of kind of plaid right in the middle. I kind of like that too. Let's put some plaid on there. My gosh, we've got a lot of paper going on. All these scraps. But that's why it's so fun, I think, just to see how it all comes together. I usually don't have much of a plan. I kind of have an idea where I want things to go, but as you can see, it doesn't always end up that way. So let's get some glue going here. I didn't even trim this plaid paper down yet, so it's not exact. I'll have to trim it again probably once I get it on here, but I'm just gonna line this up right now. This is just gonna be my priority, and then I can trim it off at the ends. Do like that. Perfect, so I'll just be able to trim those ends off here in a second. And then with this, I have some ribbon. You all may remember this ribbon. It's kind of this crinkly stuff. So let's see what I can make happen here. Okay, got that gluey piece off. And then this end, we'll trim that piece off. Oh my gosh, this is coming together pretty. So then what I'm gonna do, don't need you anymore, is I'm going to run some ribbon through here and make kind of a bow thing. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So if I do like this, do one of those double things, and then if I run it through, I don't know what I'm doing here. We're just making it up, right? That's what we're doing. And then, there we go. Then I'll run this through this side. Because this sentiment, you know, it's too large for most of my smaller punches, and so being able to use the tag punch, I just really like that as an option. So then I think what I can do is just run one of these through and tie a bow at the end here. Let's do that. There we go. And then I'm just gonna, actually I could run, I think, both of these because it makes a nice enough hole here that I can do. It's just, I got some static going on trying to bring that second part of the ribbon through. There we go. There we go. Okay. So cute. Okay. And then we can tie another bow. Oh, how cute is this? Just make sure that bow's nice and snug there. And then I can trim off that piece. Oh, it's sticking to me. It's just kind of flying. And then we'll put some dimensionals on the back here to hold it in place. Got that one. And then we'll put one over here. Oops. No, that one's not right. It's gonna show through the back side. There we go, we'll put it there. And then one in the middle, since it's kind of long, so nothing squishes. We don't want to squish. And I'll put one right there. There we go. And that, I'm thinking, let's get it right in the center here. Is that kind of centered? Yes. There. So cute. Okay. And then we can put some on the back here. And this will almost done here in just a couple seconds, minutes. And of course, you know, there's no perfect formula for how to put the dimensionals. Some of it just comes down to weight and how you're sending it if you're mailing it. Open your card. I'm gonna double check where your opening is. As you saw, I almost always put them in upside down. One of my girlfriends, she's a demonstrator, and her best friend's a demonstrator. She says her friend always sends her the ones where she puts them on upside down because she knows she'll understand the humor and the mistake. So, okay, and so then we just center this right there. So cute. And we can trim down this bow even more if we want. Let me get some of that tail off of there. Oh, super cute. For the inside, I have another piece of white matting that we can do something with here. We're gonna do some scraps, some of the material we're not using anymore. And for the inside, we can do, let's see, wishing you the very best. I could also even just do this bountiful blessings. You always have a way of making my day. Or I can just keep it simple and do another, let's see here. I have a couple of, I love putting dots on cards. Do you remember this set from Avant Garden? Oh my gosh, that's an old set. They have a really lovely polka dot in there. And so I think I should put some polka dots. I love putting polka dots. Oops. I think it just adds so much texture. I tore my scratch paper. I think it just adds a lot of texture to a card without, you don't want it to leave it too blank, but you also don't want it so cluttered that there's no room left to write your message. So I love to just put these little polka dots around. I kind of bring them together a little bit. Just a couple there, maybe a couple down here. Something simple like that. I like that. I like that. Okay. Bring this over. There you go. Wonderful. Okay, so there's our 2 cards that we made today. I certainly hope you enjoyed that, and that gives you some ideas on how to use your scrap paper and use this Sunburst pattern. I think this is just a great way to highlight your paper, highlight your talents, your creativity, and bring out the best of the products that you have. Hey guys, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.